Hi everyone. I've had a few people ask me to look at the difference between a PMP certification and an MBA postgraduate degree. While they do look at similar things in business and business value, there are a lot of differences in the cost and even the expectations from each of these two things. So we're going to look at the overview of each, what's involved, the popularity of each, the salary and how much you can expect to earn after each of them, what you learn and the time and cost involved in doing each of these two things, an MBA and a PMP, the networking opportunities for each one, and the prerequisites to apply for the PMP versus the MBA. Let's get straight into it. First of all, for a PMP, it's more a certification to showcase your project management expertise. Usually you will need at least 3 years of project management expertise plus 35 contact hours of education in project management. And this certification is globally recognized, so usually you can take it anywhere to any country and it will be a recognized certification. It's the same thing for an MBA. Known as a Master of Business Administration, it teaches leadership, managerial and finance skills, and it's at the graduate level, so after a normal degree. It's also an internationally recognized degree, and it's often considered essential to obtain top-level management positions, really at the very top. Now, the PMP and the MBAs are both popular. PMP has currently 1.2 million certification holders worldwide, and MBAs, it's the most popular online graduate degree with approximately 2 to 3 million people holding an MBA currently. And the range in that is just because each university will judge an MBA and who has completed it differently. So there's a little bit of a gap there. It's not completely standardized, but generally 2 to 3 million people worldwide for an MBA. Now, what does each one teach? For a PMP, we're going to learn project management, basically, the project management process and the frameworks involved, finding and delivering business value and how to do that, and managing teams, so team management and team leadership. And of course, project management touches on everything in the project management process: scope, schedule, cost and quality and finance there, managing team and resources, risk and procurements and vendors, and of course, integrating that all together to deliver that business value. An MBA is also about business value, but it delves into a wider range of topics with marketing. So now we can market our products or our items effectively, ethics, accounting, organizational behavior, which is similar to leadership, quantitative analysis, which is more of our finance, so financial items here, economics at a broader scale, strategy, so organizational strategy, and then leadership. It will usually be these things or a combination of these things with a few more items included, but that's typically what you'll learn in an MBA. Now, the salaries for each are also extremely interesting. The Project Management Institute recently released a survey and information on the average salary for project managers who hold a PMP certification, and that was $130,000 in the US. For an MBA, the overall average salary was $128,997. So very, very similar. And that was the average across all MBA programs. But for the top 10 MBA programs, the average was between $205,000 to $231,000. Now, I also have some data on this because I did look at PMI's salary survey, and I've previously extracted data from consulting salaries. So for consultants, if you're in a consultancy like KPMG or McKinsey, for example, having an MBA can actually really help you with your career. They had the highest return with $251,000 a year on average. And here's the PMP salary survey in the United States. PMP holders at $130,000. Without a PMP, project managers are under $100,000 there. So typically they're about the same until you get into the top tier universities. But there's also intangible benefits, and these can be very, very valuable. For a PMP, usually the study is completed online. It's around 35 contact hours. It can be done in person, but there's limited access to networking opportunities. For an MBA, networking is often seen as half or 50% of the benefit of getting an MBA because you're hanging out and working with high-level executives from many different industries. It's a great way to actually build an amazing network of people and that can really help you in the future. So most educational institutes host networking events where you can meet MBA alumni, business contacts, and potential mentors. The networking for an MBA is really one of the best aspects and where a lot of the value is involved. Now, time and cost is also a large variance between the PMP and MBA. For the PMP, the cost is $655 US. It's a bit less if you're a PMI member at $544 US. And the time involved, you need 35 hours of education, plus obviously you need 3 years of being a project manager to actually apply for the exam. For an MBA, the cost on average is around $56,000. So cost-wise, it's 80 to 100 times what you would pay for a PMP. And time-wise, you need 2 years of full-time study or around 600 classroom hours. So looking at that versus 35 contact hours, we're around 15 to 20 times the time required for an MBA versus a PMP. Just to apply for each one also has some prerequisites. For a PMP, you do need at least 3 years of project management experience plus the 35 contact hours of education. For an MBA, there's a few different factors and it depends on the university that you're going to. Usually you'll need a 3 to 4 year bachelor's degree with a minimum score of 60% and 3 years of managerial work experience. Some universities will accept you without the experience. They might rely on a graduate management admission test or a GMAT score of 650 or more. And some universities will look at your IELTS band scores or your International English Language Testing System band scores. So you may need to complete that in some cases. But again, they're really going for that highest level and you will have had to have completed a bachelor's degree. But overall, that's the popularity, the salary, networking, time and cost involved, and an overview of the PMP versus the MBA. If you have any additional tips, put them in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next video.